Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're through to the semi-finals of the League Cup. Another great performance from Celtic last night. And a trip to Tynecastle coming up this weekend as well. It's been another huge week for Celtic. We never stop, and we know that by now. And it's time to get on with it again as we look forward to our next game. But a few things I want to touch on from last night and surrounding this week. So let's get into that. Before we get into this video, as always, please make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. On the road to 40,000 subscribers. Also, a quick apology if I seem sort of off it in this video today. I'm actually feeling quite unwell. Woke up this morning, just felt ill, and I was actually thinking about just patching a video all together. But I've mustered my way up the ladders into the loft. I'm trying my best. But if I seem a little bit downbeat, don't worry. Just a wee bit under the weather. Hopefully be back to normal tomorrow. But yeah, let's touch on last night very briefly. A 4-0 win for Celtic at Motherwell. A double for Lielabada, Kyogo and Hatate amongst the goals as well. And another standout performance from Celtic. You know, we've carried on from that great victory against Hibs last weekend. 10 goals in 2 games. If you never got the chance to catch up with my live stream last night, the post-match reaction stream, I made the point, and I just want to reiterate this and reinforce this point. You know, Hugh Keevins was on the radio a couple of weeks ago saying that Celtic were a side who were imploding. And it's some implosion, it really is. 10 goals, 2 games, we're on great form at the minute, we're still winning games, we're still top of the league, we've got a League Cup semi-final to look forward to. It just shows you the difference that it makes when, you know, you aren't losing to sides who you would normally lose to, you know, your Leipzigs, your Real Madrids, the biggest sides in Europe with hundreds of millions of pounds to spend. You know, there's no excuses for losing games. You know, you're not the better team, you lose the game, simple as that. But the overreaction by some to losing these games, which were always going to be difficult for Celtic, was insane. And it's shown now as Celtic are capturing that form back. You know, we had a little bump in the road, but just like this group of players showed last season, any adversity they're ready to get over. The manager's ready to get over. We'll touch on the new documentary later on in this video, but you've seen it all in that. You know, it might have been a difficult start to last season, we got over it, and we might have had a difficult patch this season. And if that is the difficult patch, well, I'm glad it's over and done with, and we can start moving forward and thinking about more successful times, hopefully more trophies to come. But last night, a real good performance from Celtic. I was very happy with it. Everybody in the park done their job and done it really well at that. And we got to see once again a side that was rotated and players coming in and you know, showing that they understand their role in this team. So on the topic of the draw then and the semi-final, we'll be taking on Kilmarnock in the semi-finals at Hampden in January. It will be played on either the 14th or 15th of January alongside the other semi-final, Aberdeen and Rangers. There's a potential derby final there if both of us were to make it through, but I mean, there's no point in looking forward to a final without getting the semi-final out the way. It's going to be a tough game. Kyle Lafferty just suffered a 10-game ban for his language that he used in that video. If you've not seen it, then I'm not going to elaborate on it, but received a 10-game ban. I wonder if you missed that. I don't know if that's quite 10 games. But anyway, we're taking on Kilmarnock at Hampden. Hopefully a Saturday game. I would love to get the Saturday rather than the Sunday. It has, you know, Hamish put up on Twitter yesterday, it has Saturday 5:15 written all over it, and I hope that is the case. I would love that. That'd be a cracking way to do it. And it's been a while since we've been to Hampden, hasn't it? I mean, April, I think, was the last time we were there, so you know, nearly a full year on come January since the last time we visited the National Stadium, and a tough game. And you know, the game against St Mirren that weekend in the league, it will be moved, it's been postponed. We'll probably get an update on when that will be played quite soon. I'd imagine it'll be after the World Cup anyway. But the importance of this semi-final and the importance of this League Cup can't be stressed enough. You know, this was the trophy that kick-started that Celtic side last season, I think. It was the real catalyst for success. And it was Ange Postecoglou's first trophy, of course. So to retain that, I think, holds a great amount of significance. And, you know, we've got a side there at Kilmarnock who'll be hungry for silverware. So we've just got to go out and do our job. And whoever we play in the final will be a tough game, Aberdeen or Rangers, if we make it through. It's a real important trophy and it can't be underestimated. So hopefully we do the same as what we've done last year, get a trophy in nice and early, and it sets the tone for the campaign afterwards. So I wanted to talk quite a lot about a certain topic today in this video, and that is the topic of rotation and the fact that we've seen so many changes in both games this week. You know, Hibs, we've seen a lot of changes going into that. We've seen a lot of changes going into the game last night against Motherwell, and Ange Postecoglou was asked after the game how difficult that is, and you know, is it hard to tell players like James Forrest they're not in the team after scoring a hat-trick. I love his wee joke they had. If you've not seen it, you probably have. His wee joke with the media when they asked, is it difficult to tell players that, and he just said, I don't tell them, I just avoid them. He was on fine form last night, Ange Postecoglou, but his further comments really interesting, and it was something, once again, if you've watched that We Never Stop documentary, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about in terms of, you know, players understanding their role and having such a great group right now that understand each other. But Ange goes on to say, I think they've all embraced that. They understand it. You saw last year what happens when you put the burden on a very few. You get injuries and it affects us. If James had played tonight, or Giacomakis of course, had played tonight, there's no chance for Saturday. So they understand that. They all appreciate and all understand that if we're going to be successful playing this kind of football, everyone's got their role to play. I think there is a respect within the group. We all know what we're trying to achieve and we all want to do it together. That means that no one is more important than anyone else. I think, you know, we always have these conversations of, you know, is it Giacomakis or is it Kyogo? Is it Abada? Is it Maeda? Is it such and such? You know, we always jump in, you know, we're all guilty of it, me included. We always kind of jump straight away to this. It has to be one or the other, and you know, there's always got to be a first choice or a preference. And to some extent, there is. That, you know, you look at form, for example, that dictates a lot of who you think should play the next game. But the fact is, we've got a group of players who understand their roles and a manager who understands them individually down to a T. And he plays them when he knows they're going to play well and when he trusts them. And he trusts them game in, game out. And then that comes with big changes. We should just find ourselves incredibly fortunate we're in this position. I have never, as a Celtic fan in my lifetime, I mean, my lifetime is obviously a lot shorter than a lot of Celtic fans out there watching this video, but in my lifetime, I have never ever seen a Celtic side with such squad depth and such, you know, you're spoilt for choice. Never had that. I think back to the first Celtic team I can sort of remember. We had such a set 11. We had good options off the bench, but we had such a set 11, and that carried through into Lennon's team. You know, we had a set 11. There was guys who would maybe appear now and then off the bench. You know, your Tony Watts and such. You know, you had players like that, and then you go to Rodgers once again, really set 11. I feel like week in, week out, you knew the team that wanted to start, and maybe you'd say, "We'll rotate it a bit for this cup game coming up." But now, it's unpredictable to get a Celtic team. You know, and say that's the 11 that's going to start. And that is a good thing. We are so spoiled. We don't realise how lucky we are. And that doesn't just come with the quality of player that we have signed. You know, we've signed some great players and we have so many options. But it just comes with the fact that all of them are playing their part and all of them believe in it. It's a very different world and a very different example here for a moment. But you look at someone right now like Cristiano Ronaldo, who you can't compare with anybody at Celtic at the end of the day, right? But you look at somebody like Ronaldo, who's not been getting played. He left the stadium early last night before the final whistle had even went. He's been throwing his toys at the pram all season. And he's not the only player at Manchester United or clubs similar who have been in situations like that. We are very lucky that we're at the point as a football club where every single person in that squad is doing their part and understanding their part, and they're willing to take the sacrifices along the way. You know, Giacomakis isn't throwing the tissy because he's not starting the game over Kyogo, and vice versa. They are both there for each other. They're both helping each other get better. And it just means we've got so many more options for goals and even working back in the team as well. So we are a team that is, you know, very, very lucky to find ourselves in the position we are. But Ange's comments really, really telling of, you know, this group of players we've got right now. There is such a respect between them all. And that's one thing that, you know, is truly unique of a manager to build, I think. And especially in modern football with the way that social media and egos and personality has become such a big part. You know, people will read online and, you know, there'll be rumours swirling. You know, you look at the Paul Pogba saga, for example, but Ange just kept this group of players as one, and that's truly unique. And it's just another one of those things that makes you very grateful we've got him at the helm of our club. This would never have happened under Neil Lennon. Never, with all these options. I think that it would have been very different. No offence, Neil, but yeah, it's a truly unique and spectacular place to be. Right, touching on squad depth, I want to talk a wee bit about a guy who has been lighting up the last couple of games and how much I have loved watching him. Aaron Mooy, a young man improving every week. I know he's not that young, but it's for the sake of the meme, right? Okay, just calm down. Don't tell me he's old. I know he's old. Or he's not old. That's offensive. Aaron, sorry if you're watching this. You're a delightful young man. Anyway, Mooy's just been brilliant, hasn't he? And he's stepped up big time over the last couple of games with the absence of Captain Cal. And he's showing the quality. And one thing I couldn't stop thinking to myself today is how many times is Ange Postecoglou going to prove people wrong? And, you know, and some occasions, us wrong, Celtic fans wrong. So many people very quick to jump on the signing of Aaron Mooy. I remember the day that he signed for Celtic. I came on here and we'd done a live stream. So many people in the chat were negative about it. So many people online were negative about it. I said, listen, well, he's here. We've got to get behind him. It might not look like the best signing on paper, but you've got to get behind it. Ange knows what he's doing. And Ange, once again, proving he knows what he's doing. Surprise, surprise. The manager of a football club knowing what he's doing. He's turned out to, you know, it was a kind of slowish start for Aaron Mooy. There's no denying that. He didn't look up to speed and he had to kind of get himself into the condition of playing for a club like Celtic. But he's come on great, hasn't he? In the last couple of games, he's been a real standout for Celtic and what he's doing. I don't just want to reiterate everything that I said in last night's stream, but just you know, what he lacks in terms of maybe the physicality of an Ange Postecoglou player, or the technical side, no, not the technical side, so the physical side, you know, the pace, the power, that, you know, the fast moving actions and stuff, you know, like all of that side of the game that a lot of the players do possess. He makes up for tenfold with what's in there and what's in his head. He reads the game so well. In the last couple of games, his presence in the middle of the park has been undoubtedly so influencing on the game itself, and he's changed the kind of course of it. He looks really, really good, Aaron Mooy, at the moment, and he's one of these players that's hard to kind of drop at the moment, and Ange will be saying I'll need to avoid him because, you know, whoever does come in and play these games, you know, Mooy is someone that deserves to be one of the guys on a team sheet. He's been playing that well. He's been getting a couple of assists here and there as well. I'm just really impressed by him recently, and I wanted to kind of reiterate that in case people didn't see my reaction from last night. But brilliant player. Oh, it's been a hard one to get through. I'm honest, I feel out of breath. Finally, the We Never Stop documentary. Have we all seen it? Have we all watched it yet? Brilliant watch. I sat down yesterday and finally watched the whole thing. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I couldn't recommend it enough to the people who haven't seen it yet. Yes, of course, I watched it legally, very legally. I bought the DVD. Yeah, brilliant. It's such a great insight to the manager and everything about him. And it's, you know, this is, once again, talk about being unique. How many times have you seen a club so infatuated by the man leading them? Like, you're always meant to love your manager, and of course you always back your manager, but Celtic and Ange Postecoglou is a relationship like I've never seen in football. And I just absolutely love it. I love it, and the documentary is great. A great insight to the guys behind the scenes and how difficult it's been for some people, and how, you know, big that season was, and how it all unfolded behind the scenes. Really good watch. I won't get too much into it in case you haven't seen it yet and you don't want me to ruin it for you. I mean, spoiler alert, we win the league. But yeah, if you've not seen it, go and watch it. Brilliant. And that'll do it for today then. There's the outro for you. Quite a long one, actually. I was intending this being a shorter one. If you've enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. I am going to press stop before I end up being sick all over the computer. So, yeah, wouldn't be pleasant for any of us. I'll see you all next time.